Hi, welcome to Around the Business. I am Jesse, and I'm joined here by Tony Wittkowski of the Herald Palladium.
That's right.
Is it okay if I can ask you a few questions?
Yeah, go for it.
First question, how do you normally approach people when you interview them?
With a smile, most often, but I always introduce myself and clarify what paper I'm working for, just so they don't feel like there's a stranger walking up to them to talk to them.
Yeah. Have you interviewed any celebrities?
I have, yeah. I think the most famous person I've interviewed was Tom Izzo. He's head coach for the Michigan State Spartans basketball team, men's basketball team specifically. He's won a national championship. I've also talked to Jim Belushi and Jack Nicklaus, greatest golfer ever.
Nice. A question. How do you normally know when you have what it takes to be a journalist or a person who can interview others?
Well, I guess you'd have to have some form of people skills. I call them soft skills. You need to be able to talk with someone just at any point in time. There's also that aha moment that most journalists have where you're talking to someone and you're getting info that you normally wouldn't on a regular day basis. My aha moment was in college when I was covering a string of armed robberies, and I got to know a lot of the people on my beats when I was covering cops and courts, and I started recognizing some of the police officers by their first name. So when I'd go to cover, an armed robbery, they'd know me, they'd zero in on me and avoid some of the other press and let this college kid know some of the info first. That's how I knew I kind of made it.
Yeah, nice. How do you normally respond to someone who's either being rude, arrogant, etc.?
You kill them with kindness, because it's really difficult to build a bridge in a relationship with your sources or even regular people in the community who you talk to on a basis. But it's harder to mend those bridges. It's easy to burn them down, harder to mend them. So as long as you're clear and upfront with your intent of a story and let them know what the angle is, so you're not screwing them over, I think you just kill them with kindness. That's my advice.
Okay. How often do you interview people?
On a regular basis. So I'm an editor now, so I don't write stories or interview people every day like I used to when I was the business reporter. But even as an editor, I talk to people on a regular basis. I'd say I still write 2 or 3 stories. I mostly assign stories to other reporters now, but I'd say I have 4 or 5 interviews a week.
Do you like interviewing people?
I love it. It's my favorite part of my job. I got into this profession because I love to write. But sometimes writing can be a tedious part to it. I like talking with people and conversating, getting to know them. Especially when you just hit like a right segment of questions and they tell you something that you didn't even know.
Yeah. How often do you write stories?
So the way our newspaper's set up is it's a daily, and I have to budget well in advance, and we're down to a staff of about 4 or 5 reporters and 1 photographer, so occasionally I do have to fill in and write stories. Everyone is responsible for at least 1 large takeout, which is set for the Sunday edition each month, and I've been writing one of those a month, and then like a Q&A, which I actually have one running tomorrow online.
Okay.
But I'd say about 3 or 4 stories a week, solid. Back when I was a reporter, it was 2 or 3 a day. I would write a lot because I'd have to fill a paper.
Yeah.
But now as an editor, I assign a lot of those stories, but occasionally I have to pick up the slack and write some too.
Okay. And how do you exactly feel about your job?
It has its good and its bad days, like any job I expect. The best days are when we tell people stories that normally aren't told. Right now we're covering the Benton Harbor lead crisis, and it's been long and taxing, and it's a story that we've been reporting on for the past 3 years, but the national media just now got involved back in October because that's when the EPA stepped in. Yeah.
Okay. That will be all. Thank you for asking my questions, and I hope you have a good day.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.